everyone, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we are diving into an important concept, how to read session and the user data in your application. Whether you are working with authentication, personalization, or just managing user state, understanding how to access and user session data is absolutely crucial. I will walk you through step by step showing you how to securely read session data, fetch user data and put it inside your app. By the end of this video, you will have a clear idea of how to manage user session and make your app feel more dynamic and personalized. So let's jump in. So let's move on to the Visual Studio Code. Here we are using some helpers functions such as useAuth and currentUser from the Clerk library. So before this, we are building a separate dashboard page for this, and after that we can implement that helpers in our application in our dashboard. So for this, first of all, we need to go to the app. Let's create a separate folder in this. We go to app, create a folder with the name dashboard, and create a new file page.js over here. Inside that, we can create a default function for the dashboard. I can write the export default function dashboard. Enter the, we can return an h1 tag, or h1 tag having dashboard as a title. Okay. Now in this, as we are currently working on server component, so we need in order to read a user session data and user data, with the help we can use the Clerk library for that, and we can accept that information on the server component. So here this dashboard is our server component. So let's import those helper function. So I can write import open braces from next /next server, and I can write we need useAuth on currentUser. Okay, so now we can import. Now we can use the dashboard function over here. So I can write auth, and it is I can write auth as well as currentUser, which return the currentUser detail. Okay, both are I want to use await. So as we are using await method, await keyword, so we need to make this function as async function. And apart from this, we can also assign a variable to it, like constant auth object to it. It will give you the auth object of the person who is signing, and it will give the constant user object user details related to the current user. So if you hover on the auth over here, so here you can see that it is that and the current user it is the helper returns the backend user object of the currently active user. Means the person who are currently active, it returns the information of the particular user, and for the auth purpose, they also return in the auth object, they return the session and user ID of that. So how to see that? So for this, we need to made a control statement over here, and we can display the details over here. So I can write auth object and current user and user object. Okay. So now save it and go to the browser to see the auth object and user object detail. So here, if we click on F12 on the side, you didn't see anything just now. Now we navigate to the 3000 / I can like local 3000 / dashboard, press enter over here. Okay, now you need to wait for some time. Auth is not defined. Okay, auth is not defined. I need to see that what could be. Okay, it could be not. It is auth. It is not a use auth over here. Okay, so need to save it. Now go to the browser. Again, you can see that is dashboard in the title, and on the right side you can see the server it is the server component, as I already told you. So here you can see two objects. One is the auth object and second is the user object. So let's navigate what are the details they are showing to us. So if we navigate to the auth object on the left hand, on the left hand side, of you. On the right hand side, you can see the details like session claims, session ID, session status, token type, user ID. If you want to get the details of the user related from the database, you can get the user ID from the auth object over here. And apart from that, you have number of parameters such as redirect to sign in and redirect to sign up also, and user object in the in this. Now if we now if we close auth object and go to the user object over here, so you can get all the details related to the user who are signing. Okay, so here you can see the first name, here you can see the ID of that particular user, image URL, and the primary number, so primary email ID, all the details related to the user. Okay, so here underscore, here you can see the all the raw data from the in the user object. So all the details you can see over here in the server component. But here is the question around that these two objects which we have used in this in the server component of dashboard page.js with helper function like auth and current user, they are not supported in the current on the client side. So if we want to use them on the client side, then we have to, then how we can access the session data and, or read user data on the client side component. So this is the example of how we can implement on the server side now, or the server component in the Next.js. Now let's start implementing by let's create a client component and try to use this on the try to use the some other function to get the session data and the user details. So let's, for this we need to create a new component. I can create a new component called counter.jsx, and I have already told you that this is a use client, so we can uh, add use client active on top of it. I already built some code for it. I just need to copy on it. Here this you can see the counter app. Here you can see the counter component in which we are just displaying the count value, and on button it can just increment it. So let's implement. So this is the simple counter app counter component which is a client component. Okay. So now let's implement this particular client component on the layout.jsx file. So here you can see on the page.jsx file. So here you can see that I can implement our counter client component on the page.jsx, the root page of it. So I can press the counter and it can save it to it. Okay. Now now the question arises how we can access the session data or the user data on the client side. And we have already seen how we can access on the server side, but but these things which we have used on the server component, these just need to show you that like auth and current user are not supporting on the client side because they are used on the server component itself. So what are the things what we have to use so that we can access that particular information related to the session data and user data on the client component. So for this we need to import two hooks. As you all know that we can have number of hooks in that. So for this we can take help from the hooks. So we can just import from the Clerk Next.js. Okay. So what are the hooks which we are going to give the details of it? So this is we call, one is the useAuth hook. Okay. Now and the second is the useUser hook. So if you see on the right side that the hook provide access to the current user object which contain all the data for a single user in your application. Okay. So actually this give you the details about the current user who are actually logging, and useAuth give the details of the user and the session ID and the get token that can be retrieved to the given template. Okay, so there are all the information related to that particular user. So these both are hooks are helpful in getting the session data and the user information on the client component. So how we can access that data to it? So here you can see that if I can, so we can use useAuth over here, and we can destructure some data like session, like, so we can destructure that data like constant. I can type as is loaded, so it is from the, so here you can see when you type is loaded, so it is already there. Okay, so you also get the user ID on it. So these are the things which you get from the useAuth hooks in Next.js. So they are get token also. So these are the things now. These are the things which you are getting from the useout, and there are also some other things like constant, like you get from like if we talk about is equal to user, we talk about useUser. They are also returning some data to from. They are also from return. This hook also returns some data such as is sign in, and the user information to it. Okay. Now, what we have to do that now we need to check the details or use out on the client chart also. So I need to pass the condition check that if the particular I can check about the user ID is loaded. But okay, so if I can pass if the person is not is loaded. Okay, not is loaded, or and not user ID. Okay, or what we have to do? We have to return null. Otherwise, it will return the counter app. Okay, now go to the browser. First, we check with the useauth, and then we check with the useUser also. Then go to the browser. Then just reload it. Now already we are logged in on that. We go to the home page. We have already logged in. So here you can see the here you can see the counter. Here you can see the button. Here you can see 1, 2, 3, 4 already added. The button you are not able to see properly because all the white background is I didn't add some color to it. So you can see to it. So give me a time to it. So I just need to add some class to it. So I can write easy white. So I can write Q500 and text black. Text black. Save it. Okay. Now go to the browser. Reload it. Oh, it is border. It is busy blue. I need to set it busy blue, not busy blue. Okay. Now it's okay. I just need to show you how the button looks like. Okay, I just need to only give the background color to it. I just need to show you the functionality, not the CSS part of it. So here you can see that button is over there. When you click over there, your counter is increased without any issue. Now, what if that it is a valid user? You can see that we have passed the condition that if a person has a valid details, it will see this component. And if it is not, suppose it doesn't have a user ID, then what will happen? So if you go to the browser and click on sign out. Okay, so let's see what happened. So here you can see that your counter client component are unmounted. Okay, because it is not a valid user. So what we have passed the condition in this that if is not is loaded or not user ID, so it will return the null. So here we are not here. So here currently we are not logging to it, and because we are not logging to it, we are not getting any particular user ID. And as we are not getting user ID, it will just returning the null value to it. Now again, suppose you are making a sign in and you can click on Google. You are signing to an application again, and it will redirect you to the home page. Okay. Now here you can see the again counter app on the left hand side. So this is how you can implement this particular condition or implement this particular helper function on the slide on the server component and the useAuth or useUser hook on the client component by so that we can easily fetch the session data and the user data on the client side on the so easily use this particular information of it. Now if you suppose you want to go to the user pro, you just need to copy it, you need to just replace it, paste it over here and save it over here. Now go to the browser. Now again the condition is the same that so because currently we are already signing, so we are just getting all of this stuff. So all the counter component is seen over here. But now when just sign out, so you haven't now the counter component is unwanted. So this is how we can pass condition with the help of useAuth and useUser hooks, which check the condition. Now one more thing I just need to tell you that if you need to fetch the or read the function data, you can use the useAuth hook in the Next.js. Okay, because here it can return the current auth state or the user and session ID. And if you want to deal with the user data, so you can go for useUser data, useUser hook in Next.js. I hope you can easily understand how we can manage all the things related to the reading session and user data on the client component as well as on the server side component. I have shown you all both example on the side. If you have some query, you can write me to it now. And that is that is all for today session, and we just learned how to read session and user data on the client side component and the server side component, and how to use it efficiently in our application. This small step make a huge difference in building app that feels secure, personalized, and user friendly. If you found this helpful, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on the bell so you never miss out the future tutorials. And drop a comment below if you have any questions or idea for what I should cover next. I will love to hear from you. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.